So do you think like all these religious kind of subtext in these animes and these subliminal religious undertones, do you think that's going to have an effect on the youth? Like just seeing how it's just been so thrown in there. I mean, us growing up, there was definitely always demons and monsters and angels and fallen angels, and they're like, but the devils are actually the good guys and the angels are the bad guys.
Yeah,
they've always kind of had that kind of twist on things.
Like the church is evil or evil people are in the church. That's like Shield Hero. I think most recently I can think of, like in their first season, the church was literally the villains in that one.
Or again, High School DxD.
Exactly.
Yeah, they are the demons and the angels are like fallen angels. Like
yeah. I think a lot of that's more like absolute power corrupts absolutely, and when the church gets too much power, it becomes corrupt. Same thing with like other. So in terms of like, is that going to affect the way? I think it'll make people hesitant. Like, I don't remember what it was, but I had said before, like, anime is almost like a new type of religion. Like, there's more people with anime posters on their walls than, like, any religious figure.
I guess I can see what you're saying, that they idolize these characters.
These heroes, these stories. Like, if the Bible is the biggest religion, I mean, Bible and Christianity has created the biggest religion there is because their stories have spanned across the world and they're the most popular, and people think of all this as Jesus being this amazing person and want to idolize to be him. Like
in Christianity,
exactly. Like, what is Naruto to people, right? Like, who wants to, like.
I can kind of see what you're saying. I just think though, with anime in particular, it is such a fleeting thing. Like I may be really into, like you said, Shield Hero for like that first year, but then that poster's gone and I'm replacing it with a Black Clover poster. Religion tends to be like something that's more concrete. But I can see what you're kind of saying. Yeah, it is crazy the amount of energy, money, time that people put into anime.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely like an idol to some people.
And another aspect I think that religion can't do is you can't, like, and a lot of them, you can't, like, appear to be or dress up as, cosplay literally, any religious figures and have a lot of those followers be cool with it. But anime, it's like, yo, you dressed up as this person, I love this person. And it's celebrated. So that's another thing that probably has to do with how fleeting it is.
I just don't like that. The one thing I don't like about anime is they do try to humanize like evil entities. And they're like, yeah, this guy is trying to, just like movies now, everything now is just very,
there's another side to things.
There's another side to things.
Yeah.
And I think what humans need is more like, hey, this is evil. Like
more simple, this is bad person, not like
they
have a reason. Like
the blurring the lines, I think, is part of why society is going the way it's going.
Yeah.
It's like giving an exception to everybody. Like this.
Not great.
Everyone's kind of all over the place now.
Like there shouldn't have been a debate if Thanos was right or not.
Like you're snapping your fingers, you're killing half the universe. Is this, well, a lot of people are starving anyway, so no, you don't kill them for them. So I'm seeing a lot of that now. I really wish they would just stop blurring these lines a little more.
It makes sense. A lot of it, I think, is people like start yearning for, I want this character to have more depth. And when you hear anybody's story, whether it's no matter what, there's some empathy you can give to that. Like, I don't think they empathize too much on like Thanos' background, but they hit a little bit of Gamora's in that movie, right? Like, she was a normal girl. He killed half of her family, half of her whole planet, and then snatched her up. And it's like,
I will say, I said I don't like Demon Slayer's character development that much, but Demon Slayer, I think, does a really good job at showing that the demons have this good side, but we're still gonna kill you. And Tanjiro is always like, oh man, you had a terrible life. I'm sorry. I'm gonna weep for you. I'm still gonna cut off your head.
He's still flying
I'm gonna
off.
weep. I'm gonna weep for you.
I'm sorry. Like there's a lot more like retribution for your life, not like forgiveness of your actions.
Yeah,
because they have to kill a lot of freaking people to get those demons. Yeah. So that's one example where it's good. You know, they empathize. It makes you want to cry, especially the spider mom.
Yeah,
that one was probably
a sad story.
the worst one.
Or the one with the brother and sister.
Yeah, those were they were like
sad. She got like burned at the stake for being like pretty or whatever.
Yep. and he just had to so but they still had to get wrecked.
Yeah.
We can feel bad for you, still gotta get wrecked. So that's a good example of one that's like, they should be empathized, but they shouldn't be allowed to continue.
Yeah. And I'm saying that's what I don't like, is that a lot of animes don't have that solid like.
That's all one.
Yeah, because a lot of kids do watch it. I understand anime is for adults, and again, parents, you shouldn't necessarily have your kids watch every cartoon just because they're a cartoon.
Nope. Anime, a lot of people get wrecked.
Yeah. And but they do impact a lot of children, and I do think children are gonna be like, well, being evil isn't that bad. Killing people, it's okay as long as I have a good reason for it. And
that's fair. No. Rooting for the villain, there's always gonna be that person that wants to, the Garo of the,
And not to say it F's up kids, because growing up, I was definitely always on the side of every bad character in every show ever.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun. I love Vegeta. I love Char.
I don't. Nobody that is a fan of Frieza, I think, is cool. He's literally
Frieza's like literally. Yeah, but he's also like a bitch. So
I mean, he's androgynous, so it's like.
But I mean, as in as a character.
Yes,
Frieza is a brat.
He's actually the worst type of person.
He's strong and entitled, but he's not that strong. But still very entitled.
Strong as fuck, and entitled as hell, and racist. So he's the worst type of character. People are like, yo, I love Frieza. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
What qualities in that character do you actually...
Well, Frieza was actually another good one where Frieza is evil.
But still a fan favorite.
Yeah.
At the same time. Yeah. It's one of those things. Yeah. I don't know.
So that's just interesting. So do you think it's going to have any long-term effect on children to have those kind of religious undertones?
It'll have people second. I mean, when I grew up, I started not going to church itself just because I was like, why am I here when I could be out hanging with my friends or playing video games? But as an adult, I have more understanding and respect for why religion is necessary for communities, like how it brings people together. Like me and Moral Support, we're going to the gym at the church down the street from us now.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody's really nice. They're really inviting to us. It's great. So it's not like I rebuke it the way some people might, but I think it'll have people looking out for people that are trying to use too much power in that. Like when the pastor starts banging multiple women in the church, that should be stopped.
I remember that. That was wild.
Yeah. What do you mean?
There was a whole thing about a pastor, and he was just
wait, real? Because we saw a TV show about that recently.
Yeah, it's real.
Oh, okay, that's where they got it from. Oh yeah. Oh, you saw? Okay, that happens a lot more than people. I mean, that was a Luke Cage story too. Like his dad was the pastor.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
But
did you do that and get it messed up more? Okay, no, you did. So I think people should be wary of that. Just overreach of government shouldn't be and we know that recently from the whole COVID thing. Watch out for people who take too much power and use it badly.
Yeah,
that's one thing I think anime is good for, especially with we have stories for so much of this now.
No, I do understand. Again, duality is I fully believe in duality and balance, and it's just important for everything. And I do think religion is a really good way to show that the effects of duality. God is merciful and loving and stuff in Christianity, but then God also wiped the planet. It's just that whole there are two sides to things is very very important. But important, I think anime though in particular definitely glorifies. It was actually, speaking of this, I was talking to one of my friends. She's a diehard Christian. Super Christian, and we were talking. She was like, one of her non-negotiables is she does not date guys who watch anime.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. She was like, no, She was like, it's has a bad effect. I don't think it's spiritually something good to watch shows about demons and magic and powers and all of this stuff. Yeah. And trying to look from her perspective, I was like,
that makes sense.
I was like, I can see where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. You know, to just idolize and watch these characters and things like that. Mm-hmm. It could play. I'm still gonna watch it, but you know,
I understand.
I can understand where you're coming from.
I feel that it's like, well, yeah, for everybody whose parents didn't want them like watching Harry Potter, and or playing Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's for demons. Like, no, there's good. Like, and for the people in it, they're like, no, there's like good and bad. We're learning lessons, not idolizing.
But then again, completely. I think there are things like this that like party, like I said, is happening at Colossal Con.
Yeah, that's when it goes a little bit too far in one direction.
Like succubus meetup. It's like, all right, now y'all are like literally inviting demons into your party.
Like what's gonna happen there?
Shit.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. But other than that, man, I don't know. Was there any other things going on with the anime world that you've been keeping up with, or gaming? Oh, speaking of gaming.
Speaking of gaming,
I've been playing Fortnite.